It is your Classic Metal Show right here on the ClassicMetalShow.com. Kicking off the show tonight, we heard Every Mother's Nightmare from their latest release called Grind. And we heard Swing Again. And you just heard Steel Razor there with Executioner. And coming to the mic is the judge and executioner, Chris Aiken. What's going on, Chris?
What is up, man? I sound like I'm going through your camera speakers again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Let me check real quick. I don't know what happened there. I don't know why the setting would have changed.
It's definitely not your mic, that's for sure.
All right. Audio settings, microphone. Trying to see here.
To get you some bifocals.
No, I'm just seeing why it won't allow me to change the setting.
Probably because the mic's active. It's fine for now. I can hear you fine.
All right. Yeah, I didn't change anything, so.
Yeah, it's fine, but it's definitely speakerphone-ish.
I gotcha. All right. Well, anyway, we are here on the Classic Metal Show, and it is your Easter edition.
Yeah, how about that?
Of the Classic Metal Show, as well as April Fool.
So which holiday are you celebrating, Easter or April Fool's Day?
Well, is April Fool Day really a holiday?
Well, in the same tradition as Valentine's Day and Sweetest Day, certainly it is.
Yeah, but do people actually go out of their way to have some kind of a celebration or a gathering due to April Fool's Day?
You want the truth? Yes.
Do they?
They go out of, not to have a celebration, but they go out of their way to try and fool their friends into doing something stupid.
Oh, well, I understand that, but that's more like a prank.
Right. Well, that's all any of these fake holidays are, is a prank.
Yeah, but they don't plan a dinner around it or plan a outing or something around April Fool's Day, do they?
Nah, I don't think so.
They don't exchange gifts or go to a special service or something like that, do they?
No, not usually.
Yeah, I don't consider April Fool a holiday per se, but I will partake in some Easter activity tomorrow. I will get in the brand new Camaro SS and head about an hour east of here and go have some Easter ham, I guess.
You're going to?
Yes.
With who?
My sister.
Oh, all right. I was going to say, what are you doing?
No, I'm going over to my sister's place.
I thought maybe this was the next phase of the chick. I was like, get the fuck out of here. Now you're doing holiday dinners?
No. I'm gonna go visit with some of my family tomorrow, and visit with my nephew and my sister and everybody, whoever shows up, I guess.
All I know is if I get an email that says leave the date, I'm gonna fucking kill you.
No,
I do not want to hear that.
No. Nope, it's all good. No, it's all family related.
All right.
No, significant other celebrations going on tomorrow.
Well, that's cool.
Nothing like that.
That's cool. Well, I'm not doing much. I guess I'm going to my mom's for a little while, but can't turn down free home cooked meal. Got to take it.
Well, there you go. You're not doing anything really much different than me.
Nah, I'm not going to stay too long, though. I'm in a writing phase this weekend. I really, after 8 months or whatever it's been away, I really fucking dug in today and wrote. I wrote for about, I would say a good 6 hours today on the Korea book.
And did the Nightmare on Elm Street release cause you to be inspired?
In a way, yes. Because I actually did a comparison about this ugly chick that I banged. I compared her face to I think it's in Freddy's Dead or Nightmare Part 6 when the kid made a Freddy Krueger face out of a bowl of oatmeal.
Okay.
I said that's kind of what this chick looked like, kind of, pock-faced and yucky with kind of grayish skin. She
was oatmeal face.
She really wasn't old. She was more than a pizza face. I mean, she had really bad acne, but she had like grayish. She had like a grayish skin.
She had a grayish tint to her complexion.
Yeah, like she'd been working 35 years in a steel mill or something.
All right.
Just kind of that grayish face. And I was writing about, I mean, she had a rockin' fucking body, as any girl did back in the, that was 22 years old and in the military, you know, the body was rocking. Great ass, great abs, you know, great legs. Everything was rocking. But, man, talk about a butter face. My God, that was worse than a margarine face there. It was so bad. But you know me, I'll do it anyway. Pussy's offered, I'm there.
Right. So did you bang her?
Yeah, twice. Yeah, one, and that's the whole story, is that I banged her. It was, I'll tell the story briefly here, but there's a very elaborate 20-page story that I wrote today.
Okay.
But basically, one of the things that we did all the time in the military was gamble. And I mean, we gambled on everything. And one of the things we gambled on was pussy, is, you know, and so she was one of those that I was friendly with her, but I wasn't like trying to get with her. You know, she was just somebody that I was friendly with, and she liked me. She definitely was trying to hook up with me. But it was I mean, you've had those girls before, dude, in your life that you're just like, nah, not my thing. You know, so, but we were at the bar one night, and she came walking in with this guy that I did not like. And I started talking shit, and my buddy started talking shit. And before we knew it, we were betting. You know, we were throwing money on the table that I could bang her that night. Okay. So it ended up with me walking over to the guy, fucking knocking him out in a bar and taking her home and banging her. And, you know, I took her home, banged her, got my proof, got my money, then tried to ditch her for a fucking, I don't know, week. And then her friends got a hold of me and got all pissed off and slapped me and blah, 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 blah. And so I went and, you know, the next weekend I'm out at the club again and I'm wasted again. And my buddies start on me again. And I was like, I can get her again. You watch. More money was bet. And I went after it again and ended up hooking up with her again. And then the sad moral to the story was then at like 3 a.m. she says to me, she goes, I think I'm falling in love with you.
Oh my God. And
I was like, get out. I 3 a.m, I put her out in the streets of Korea. I was like, get out. And yeah, it was definitely a bad scene after that.
I think I'm falling in love with you.
Yeah, because I fucked her twice.
Ouch.
It was like, you know, and I mean, yeah, it was good fucking, I guess, but I mean, it was not. Dude, chicks do that, man. They swear that if you invade those 3 inches of goodness, that you're fucking, you know, that you're committed. They can't just accept that it's the same as watching a really good baseball game. It really is. It's the exact same. You get some energy, you get a high, and then you're done. Then the game ends. You know.
So you're of the Motley Crue thought process of, girl, don't go away mad, just go away.
Just go away, exactly.
Well, that will definitely be a book of interest for a lot of our CMS fans, I'm sure.
Well, I'll tell you what, it is going, if it's nothing else, it is going to be the very longest book I've written so far, because I still have about 6 chapters left to write now. I knocked down 3 today, which was great. And it's already almost twice as long as Call Me Chris was.
Right.
Now, I will cut some of it, obviously, but it's looking like it's going to be a 500-600 page book.
Well, that'll be one of those books that'll come out in a reprint, and it'll have bonus chapters.
Right, exactly. It's my War and Peace, but the peace is different.
Right.
P-I-E.
Yeah, it's War and Peace of Ass.
That's right.
Maybe that's what you ought to call it.
No, I already have a name.
Oh, I know you already have a name, but you know, maybe there could be like a subheading there.
Right.
Otherwise known as War and Peace, and then in parentheses of ass.
Right. Maybe that'll be one of the chapters. I'd go with the chapter name there. Yeah. No, the name of the book is definitely going to be Nimi Shimi Pekpoji Da and Other Things I'm Not Supposed to Say.
Right.
That's the name of the book. And then the Nimi Shimi Pekpoji Da is written in Korean.
Uh-huh.
So that I can get away with it, because that means your mother has a bald pussy.
Right.
But I can't get away with that on Amazon, so I'll put it in Korean, and I'm going to bet that nobody can understand what that is until the Korean market gets a hold of it.
Or until somebody on Amazon decides that they want to translate it.
Yeah, well, that too, maybe. But I'll be like, what are you talking about? I thought those were my Korean adventures. They must have miswritten it for me.
I must have been mistaken.
Yeah, how did that happen? I don't know what happened.
It's
there.
been so long since I've been to Korea. I guess I need to brush up a little.
Yeah, I've forgotten a couple words.
There you go.
Yeah, no, I'm very. I took a long time truthfully getting over the whole Amy thing, and that just fucking made me not want to write about anything military related for a while. But now I just decided that this was the week I was going to get back in. I'm way behind. I wanted to have it right now, and it's not done. So today was the day that I just dove in there and started writing on it, and boy, did it come out quick. And like I said, I wrote for 6 hours, almost 6 straight hours, and it just fell out of my head.
Well, sometimes you just got to get inspired to do what to create, I guess.
Yeah, and I mean, a big part of it is emotional, I guess, to me. So I really just kind of had to get my head into the right place again, to where I didn't have, aggression or anger or anything, for this topic. So now I do. So the only thing that's going to suck is I did make a change. I'm going to change all the people's names except my own, just because with some of the people now crying the blues about, oh, I don't want that in the book, and I can't have that, and I have a life and a wife, and blah, blah, blah. It's probably just going to be easier if I just change all the names,
All the names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Yeah, pretty much. That's pretty much what it is. It's protecting the guilty, because there's nobody innocent, and and I'm certainly not writing anything that's out of school of what actually happened. Because I have no reason to. My life's crazy enough. I have no reason to make up a goddamn thing.
Right.
But, the more I thought about it, it's like, especially now where I had a kind of an ugly, I had an ugly end to my relationship with Amy. It's like I had to change her name. I had to change her name out of the book. So if I got to change her name, I might as well change everybody's name and just not leave any risk of being sued. So that's what I'm doing.
I gotcha.
But that's going to be, I'll make sure that is spelled well out in the forward, though, that all the names were changed because I'm worried about other people, not because I'm worried about me at all.
Right.
Because I couldn't give a shit who fucking knows what I did.
Right. Well, maybe that should be part of the forward is, about how you change the name to protect the guilty, and so you don't get sued, and I don't give a shit what anybody knows about me. That's how it should be written.
It's probably going to be something like that, because the whole situation where people started approaching me one at a time with their, I don't know that I want my wife to know these things that I did back in 1988, and I don't see how that could benefit me, but bleh, fuck off. I'll just change your name, you pussies.
Yeah. You were still a participant,
Yeah. You still did the shit that I wrote about. Yeah, you were with me when we fucking pulled our dicks out on the street and had hookers jerking us off while trying to negotiate price. You were with me for that. Sorry that happened and that your wife might read about that. Sorry that you've lied to her for all these years, that you never were a deviant fuck.
Right.
Stop it. Just admit who you are. That's what drives me the most crazy about it. It's not that people want to change don't want it to be out there. It's that they pretend like they didn't do it.
Right.
And it's like, yes, you did. You were the exact same scumbag that I was. And that's the whole that was the whole thing to it to me, is that, why would you change something that you actually did? If anything, you just say, oh, that's how he remembers it. I don't remember it quite that way. Right?
I would imagine.
Yeah. See that picture that Cold November put in there? That's similar to what this girl looked like, but if her face was grayer.
Oh.
She's got way too much fucking red in her face. Now, admittedly, if you kissed her, you might come away with a face full of fucking slime, but, because don't you think you could kiss zits popped on that face? Just...
Yeah, I don't think so.
You kiss her, and it's like a fucking jar of Brill cream just fucking exploding.
Yuck.
Yum. But I went in twice. Why not? She didn't have zits anywhere else. That was a weird thing. She had no zits on like her back or her ass or anything, but definitely on her face.
And she was gray.
And gray. And how does that happen? Usually, if they got zits, they usually have like a red face. You know, and she didn't. She had, I don't know, Tales from the Crypt face. She looked like the autopsy scene in every episode of SVU. Just a grayed out face. It was odd. Now, she did work in the motor pool. Maybe it was from being under trucks and shit all the time. I don't know. But whatever. It happened.
I hear you. Well, we obviously are back here on the CMS, and it's been an eventful week.
Wow, has it? What happened?
For the show, anyway. I guess some of the content of the show from last week kind of ruffled a few feathers.
Yeah, imagine that.
So I noticed that you were very, very active this week, either banning people from the YouTube or
Yeah.
you were just exacerbating the situation and stoking the fire.
Of course.
And, we talked a little bit about Judas Priest last week, and for whatever reason, that's a very hot-button issue with some people.
Right.
And they apparently did not like our opinion on something.
Yeah, how dare we have a thought that didn't match theirs?
Exactly. So you were very, very busy with the retorts, not only on the YouTube, but on the CMS Facebook.
Yeah, and Twitter, everywhere.
So that kept you busy with, having to answer or retort every couple of hours, I guess.
Yeah, about every 3 hours I would check, and there'd be 8 or 9 more messages. It was definitely a busy, stupid week, that's for sure.
Yeah. Between, I know the Gene Simmons thing didn't get quite as much activity, but definitely the Judas Priest thing did.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, in light of that, I have invited the resident Judas Priest expert,
Okay.
Eric Braverman, to join us on the show tonight.
Excellent.
I brought him up to speed with everything that's going on, and he goes, "Oh, I got some great Judas Priest information and stories for you. In fact, I want to take calls tonight."
All right.
So we're going to make it to where if you have something you want to speak to Eric Braverman about,
Okay.
you will be able to call the studio line tonight and ask Eric a question or talk to Eric about whatever it is that we're talking about.
All right. We'll try this one more time.
But I know that he'll answer his phone, unlike Anthony Esposito.
Yeah, I did talk to Anthony. I know we didn't last week, but I did talk to Anthony, and as I expected, he completely forgot.
Of course.
He just was like, "Oh, well, that was on St. Patrick's Day." I was like, "Yeah, I told you that the day we booked it." "Oh, well, I didn't realize." You did. You just forgot.
Yeah.
You forgot. It's fine. We'll redo it. No biggie.
Yeah, we'll reschedule. But so anyway, Eric Braverman coming on tonight to comment about the Judas Priest backlash and
Sure.
also add some of his own information because he, too, has been active with the Judas Priest camp trying to do some promotion, book some interview time, deal with the local show in Phoenix.
Right.
Things like that. And he said that it's not going as well as it could or as it should.
The booking of it
The booking, the promotion, the interview, the basically working with the whole Judas Priest organization.
Sure.
And,
well, I'm supposed to talk to Richie Faulkner this week, but we'll see how that goes.
Yeah. So he said that he's got some things to say about that as well.
Okay.
And it's been a while since we've had Eric on, so I'm sure that he'll probably have some words not only about Judas Priest, but also of the debacle that is or was Rat.
Yeah.
I'm sure that he'll have something to say about that. And, Eric's always, you never know what that guy is going to say.
No, you really don't. That is very true. You really don't.
So our resident metal guy, Eric, will be on the show here in about 25 minutes.
Okay, cool.
So that's what's going on there. And, the fans, the numbers for the CMS have just been growing.
Mm-hmm.
And we've been doing ridiculous numbers for the show as well as the podcast and whatnot. So I want to say thank you.
Yeah, dude, I did a count. This is rare for me, but I was looking at the stats on Friday, I guess it was.
Okay.
And the only reason I was really looking was because I was on YouTube and I saw that the Judas Priest had 1,500 or whatever. But then when I went to Spreaker, it only showed 600. And I was like, this isn't right. Something's fucking wrong here. So I looked and they weren't all reported or something. And it doesn't matter. I mean, but it got me to do a count once everything did update. Because eventually later in the day, everything updated.
Yeah, it updates, once a day.
Yeah, well, I took a look, and I did a quick count, and as of yesterday, we were at, I think, 133,000 downloads/listens for the month, and I was like, God damn,
yeah,
that's a lot.
Well, I told you in an email that we're pretty consistently we've got about 5,000 downloads a day.
Right.
On an average. And even though we crossed the 4 million download mark on March 5th, which was basically 25 days ago,
right,
26 days ago, we are due to cross the 5 million mark, I estimate, around September 30th of this year.
Wow. Look at us go.
So that'll be the first for us to cross 1 million in the same year.
Yeah, that'll be awesome.
Now we've done it within a year, but not in the same year.
Yeah, we haven't done 2 crosses in a year.
Exactly.
Well, before long, it'll be 1 million a month with the intense growth of the show.
Apparently, it is just growing, and for a show that does not get advertisement or sponsors or anything, it's pretty impressive. So thanks to the fans.
Yeah, and considering that we had so many tell us this week that we should just quit because nobody listens, that's amazing how many numbers that we get for a show that no one listens to.
Yeah, nobody listens to your show anyway.
Yeah, man, no one's listening.
Yeah.
How many of those did we get this week?
Yeah,
15?
Quite a few.
So funny.
Yeah, we're doing 35,000 downloads a week.
Yeah, we're doing crazy numbers, and I want to do more. There's still things like today. I was thinking a little bit about Melodic Rock Fest and what I want to do that week.
Okay.
And what I'm really thinking, and I know I harp at you all the time about this, and you never do it, but since I'll be in your face, I think you will, is that we will do a bunch of podcasting from the 3 days that we're there. And then we'll just upload it all, that week, the week following, so that everybody has new content during the week.
Right.
And so I was looking at different equipment and shit, and dude, do you realize how much equipment there is now that we can actually have? There's dual mic setups for iPhones and.
No, to be honest with you, I haven't kept up with the portable stuff.
Dude, it's unbelievable. I was looking at it today, and they have for the iPhone 10, and what do you have? You have a 7 or an 8?
I have a 6S.
So do you have the Lightning thing, or do you have the other kind? Do you have a headphone jack or not?
Yes, I do have a headphone jack.
Okay, but on the bottom you have the little tiny.
Yeah, the little tiny plug-in. Yes.
Okay, so we could plug in. We could plug in yours to mine, and then plug in regular microphones, not some bullshit fucking $20 mic, but real microphones.
Okay.
Because they sell adapters that goes from 1/4 inch to or 1/8 inch to whatever. What is a stereo? RJ45 or
it's a 1/4 inch.
No, not the quarter, the other kind. The big one with the holes in it that I have into my board.
Oh, and XLR?
XLR. They have from quarter inch to XLR that you could plug into an iPhone.
Okay.
And record with and do like, so we could buy a jack with a split two professional microphones in and walk around doing interviews.
Nice.
And I'm thinking that's what we're going to do.
Okay.
And the fucking piece was like $12. It's not even expensive.
It's not real expensive a lot of the time for the adapters.
Yeah, so I was thinking, you know what, that'd be great since we'll have full access to all the bands, and Andrew and the fans and everything else. I thought that might be fun.
Sure.
Just kind of, we both have the huge hard drives on our phones, and I have an iPad with another huge hard drive on it. We'll set up the Spreaker broadcast thing, and I'll just record all week.
All right.
All weekend. And then we'll fire it up during that week and give people, a taste of what the Melodic Rock Fest was about.
Sounds like a plan.
Yeah, sounds good to me.
Well, I can't believe that's only a month away.
I know. I'm pumped.
Yeah, so it should be fun. I'm looking forward to it. This year already is flying by. Here we are into the 4th month of the year.
I know. Isn't
already.
that crazy?
It is crazy.
Yeah, it's going fast, but I'm loving that it's going fast, to be honest, because I really am excited about coming up your way for Melodic Rock Fest, and then 2 weeks later for the Indians game.
Yeah, for a baseball game.
That's gonna fucking rule.
Well, hopefully it won't snow in the middle of May for you.
Yeah, I would hope that it doesn't snow at that point.
Yeah.
But of course, that with baseball starting, it's my favorite sport. So I must have watched 10 games already this season, and we're what, 2 days in, 3 days in.
Yeah, I think opening day was Thursday.
Yeah, and I think I watched 4 games on Thursday, or pieces of 4 games, and I watched pieces of 3 or 4 yesterday, and I watched some today. So yeah, I'm right in probably about 10 games.
I have not watched any baseball yet, but I probably will.
Dude, the Cubs, second game of the year, they played a 17-inning game. 17 innings against the fucking shitbag Marlins. The Marlins are damn near a minor league team, and the Cubs couldn't put them away until 17. Then they lost. They lost to the Marlins 2-1 in 17.
Wow.
That's a long game.
Well, you talk about having some fight in the Marlins.
Yeah, well, it's been fun too because our friend Lee Stone is a Cubs fan.
Okay.
And boy, me and her just go at it on Facebook because she's a diehard Cubs fan and me obviously an Indians fan. And unfortunately, in 2016, the Cubs beat the Indians in the World Series, so we battle about that constantly. But it's a lot of fun.
Sure, I'm sure it is. She's from this area.
Yeah, she knows that area well, even though she's in Arizona now. But between her and Red, I get my share of Cub worship. So. And I like the Cubs too. I watch a ton of Cubs games because they're on during the day. The Cubs are on during the day a lot of the season.
Uh-huh.
So me being the baseball fan, it's not surprising for me to throw on the TV and just watch the Cubs games, while I'm working. So.
And what platform are you picking up all these games?
MLB Network.
Okay.
On MLB Network.
Okay. All right.
Without reference, without making any statement, I'll say our good friend John Darlis might have helped me out a little bit.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. I used a little of the Darlis magic for a while, but something's changed, so I don't have that access anymore.
Oh, well, I'll give you the new Darlis magic because it did change, but there is new Darlis magic.
All right, I'd be happy to have that.
Yeah, because you can watch the Pirates games.
Absolutely.
I watched a little Pirates action, yesterday?
Oh, they played the Tigers?
Yeah. It was Friday. Friday I watched a little bit of Pirates baseball.
Yeah, their home opener is on Monday.
Yeah.
So, we'll see how that goes. They're basically a minor league team at this point.
Yeah, they've traded most of their guys too, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. They've got all minor league guys playing now.
Well, them and the Marlins should have a good opportunity to finish last.
That's right. They'll fight for the bottom.
Yeah, well, Pirates fans are used to that.
Yeah,
Pirates,
they had a good run for the last 4 years, being in contention, but now they've slowly reverted back to where they were, for 20 years.
yeah, now they're back to being a shitbag team. still living off of the legacy of Willie Stargell and Dave Parker.
Exactly. We are the family. We are family back in the late 70s.
Dude, that was my team in the when I was a kid. I was a Pirates fan and an Indians fan.
Yeah.
The Indians were my American League team, and the Pirates were my National League team. I grew up watching the Pirates.
Yeah.
I loved them.
Oh, I did too. I mean, I used to go to a few games at Three Rivers Stadium, and
Sure.
we never afforded to go, sit in the baseline seats. We always were way out in the outfield, like over top of the bullpen.
Right.
But at the time, they had like Kent TeColvey and
Sure.
Grant Jackson and people
Bill
like
Madlock.
Yeah, but while we were out watching the game in the outfield, we could yell down to the pitchers down there, and they'd always try to talk to you, or
Sure.
people would throw like little notebooks down to them to get an autograph, and they'd throw it back up to you, and stuff like that.
Sure.
So it was always fun. I always enjoyed it, as a kid, and as I when I got older and made some money in life, I whenever I go to a game, I get some of the better seats now,
Sure, of course.
But I still enjoy going to the game, win or lose.
Yeah, I like the new stadium, but I like Three Rivers better, I'll be honest. I know it was probably a shithole for the players and the locker room and everything, but it was fun to go there. And the only bad part about Three Rivers was that they made the seats around the, I don't know, what would you call it, the lower box seats, I guess, were all made of steel, since they're the Steel City.
Right.
And my God, if you went to a game in July or August, it was like 900 fucking degrees. It was so hot because it was all steel. So, the sun would just get on that steel and it would be fucking roasting at that place.
Yep.
But what was always cool at that place, I know you remember this, was when the Pirates were having a rally, everybody would start stomping on the steel floor.
Yeah.
And it would echo with that steel sound. It was like, like a drill.
Yep.
Good shit, man. I loved going to those games back in the day.
Yeah. I remember my sister worked in the medical field at the time, and she her office did some business with some kind of a medical appliance supplier out of Pittsburgh.
Okay.
And the 1982 season, I was a senior in high school, and this guy would come in from Pittsburgh, and he would talk to my sister, and this baseball season was going to open, and I think this might have been like in March, I guess, and she goes, yeah, my brother's a big Pirates fan, and this and that. He goes, oh, really? He says, I'm a season ticket holder. He says, I won't be able to attend opening day. He's more than welcome to have my tickets.
Nice.
So a good friend of mine and I drove down to Pittsburgh, took off from school. We were seniors anyway, so we took off the day of school and went down there, and it was a beautiful, beautiful afternoon. I mean, the temperature was probably in the low to mid 70s, sunny day, opening day. It was great. And after the game was over, we got to say hello to Willie Stargell.
Oh, nice. Very cool.
Yeah, I think that was his last year, as an active player. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he went to Atlanta after his Pirates days for one really sad season. he was an Atlanta Brave, actually. But dude, I've told this story before about I got the chance to be in the dugout with the Pirates during warm-ups. And it was like the greatest thing ever. I was a little kid, and I was begging for autographs, and my dad somehow worked it out that they took me in the dugout.
Very cool.
And I got autographs from, it was the 1980 team.
All right.
So it was after the World Series year. But I showed up. I had my little yellow helmet on, and I had my fake ring. I had my fake Pirates World Series ring on that they sold in the team shop, and
Sure.
my Pirates shirt. And they took me in the dugout because we got there like real early, like 11:30 or whatever for a 1:00 game. They took me in the dugout and I met everybody. I met everybody on that team. Phil Garner, Tim Foley, Bill Madlock, Starge, Dave Parker, John Milner, John Candelaria.
Wow.
All these guys.
Well, you got all the names down.
Dude, I was such a Pirates fan, man. I can still tell you what their lineup was and their roster. I loved the Pirates, man. I was a big fan, man.
Yep.
That was when Bert Blyleven was there.
Oh yeah, the Dutchman. Yeah, he went to the Indians after he left the Pirates.
Gee, you think I wasn't thrilled about that?
He was my favorite pitcher.
Dude, he was great, man, with that wicked curveball.
Yeah, he was.
Who else was on that team? Manny Sanguillen. Remember Manny Sanguillen?
Oh, absolutely. He has a barbecue stand down there at PNC Park.
Oh, now, yeah.
Yeah, so you can see the smoke from the barbecue stand. It's out like in the left field area.
Sure.
Around the mezzanine there.
Does he actually ever go there?
Yeah, he actually tends the grill there.
Oh, dude, I might have to go and get me a picture with Manny Sanguillen.
And also on the Pirates Sports, Ken Tekulve. You can go up and say hello to Ken Tekulve at the sports desk right in the mezzanine too.
What does he do?
He's the announcer.
He's the announcer for the game?
Not for the game, on the, what is it? Is it something, the something sports network?
Oh, the Root Sports?
Yeah, Root Sports. That's it.
Right. He's an announcer, huh?
Yeah. I went and said hello to him a few years ago when I went there.
Does he hold the microphone on the ground?
I tried to get a picture with him, and he goes, I gotta get back to the booth. I don't have, I can't do that, Yeah,
I can't take that extra 1.5 seconds for you.
Yeah.
Dude, I loved watching that fucking guy pitch. That guy, he'd be all bent over, and I mean, it looked like he was throwing from the ground.
Yeah, the submarine sidearm.
Yeah, but it worked. And it must not have been that good. It must be hard to do because not too many guys have ever done that.
Yeah, there was only one other guy who did that.
Really? Yeah, he really, the way he pitched was crazy. But he was great.
He had like a snake arm, like a spaghetti arm.
Yeah, but he was unstoppable or unhittable the year that they went to the World Series. He had 33 saves.
Right.
I mean, he was a man.
Yeah. And he was really tall and skinny.
Yeah, like they're saying right now, he was a nerd. I agree with him. He definitely was a nerd.
Oh, he was absolutely a nerd.
But the guy could fucking pitch. He was great. Dude, that team was awesome.
Yeah.
That team, every player on that team, even the guys that were considered scrubs were still decent. John Milner and Tim Foley. And what did Tim Foley ever do? He had that one decent season with the Pirates, and that was it.
Yeah, he came from the Mets.
Yeah, and I think he ended up going, to Houston? No, that was Garner. Garner went to Houston.
They had Omar Moreno.
Yeah, but he was in center field, though.
Yeah, but he went to Houston.
Yeah, but so did Phil Garner.
Did he?
Yeah, he ended up in Houston.
And then Dave Parker went to Cincinnati.
Yeah, that was a shame. That was just a shame. How could they let that guy go?
Yeah. Well, he was the very first ball player to have a $1 million a year contract.
Dude, he was awesome.
Yeah.
He was, and I'll tell you what, he was huge. Having met him now, admittedly, I was 1980. I was all of 12, maybe 11 or 12 years old, and maybe like 5'2". But he was every bit 6'4", 6'5". I mean, he was massive, massive guy. And I remember walking up to him, Mr. Parker, will you sign my ball? and he was looking like he would be looking at shoes to look down at me.
Right.
To see where that noise was coming from that he heard. Nice enough guy though. He like I said, he signed my shit, so I was happy.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you a little story about Dave Parker and learning a little bit about life in general.
Sure.
I remember Dave Parker and his wife at the time. I guess they split up or something.
Okay.
But it was made very clear that she was a common law wife.
Okay.
And of course, as a kid, what is a common law wife?
A wife. I mean,
no, it's somebody that lives together so long that after a certain amount of years, legally you're considered married.
Right, sure.
Well, this is at the point where my parents had to explain to me what living together meant.
Okay.
And that was an uncomfortable conversation for them because that was like a big no-no.
Right.
You don't live together. And Dave Parker and his quote-unquote common law wife were splitting up. So, of course, as a kid who watched the Pirates and heard the, sports news and thing, well, what's common law wife? What is that,
And your parents were like, just concentrate on his bad average, son. He's hitting .330 and batting third in the lineup. That's all you need to know about Dave Parker,
exactly.
Wendell. That's it.
Exactly. And I remember after he signed his $6 million contract, $1 million a year for 6 years.
Right, sure.
He was like one of the first, celebrity, quote, sports celebrity guys who wore a big diamond earring.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. And it was huge.
Yeah, it was huge. And that was also a big no-no,
Yeah.
You don't wear an earring like that. You don't do that.
Your parents probably hated Dave Parker.
Yeah. It's just like he's setting a bad example. He's living with women and he's got diamonds in his ears and, just don't follow his example.
Yeah, they were more like, why don't you watch Willie Stargell? He's a classy guy.
He's a good one.
Yeah, you never hear anything bad about that one.
No.
Follow Willie Stargell.
Exactly. And then, of course, they had Doc Ellis.
Oh, well, that's in the early. You certainly didn't follow Doc Ellis. Yeah, wasn't he?
He said he pitched an entire game on LSD.
Pitched a no-hitter on LSD.
Yeah.
And walked 9. Walked 9 guys, hit 2, but pitched a no-hitter.
Right, exactly. So yeah, that was some pretty colorful, baseball as a kid. I even though we moved from the Pittsburgh area to the Akron, Cleveland area.
Sure.
Never was a fan of any of the Cleveland teams. I was brought up watching the Pirates and watching the Steelers.
You didn't go to any games or anything?
No, not in Cleveland.
Really?
Never.
Oh wow. Dude, all the places that I've lived and been to, I tried to go to every stadium. I've been to quite a few of the baseball stadiums. I mean, I'm not one of those guys that can say, yeah, I've been to 28 of 31 or what. I've been to that many, but I've probably been to about 15. Because I definitely, I've been to Cleveland, I've been to Pittsburgh, I've been to Detroit, I've been to Baltimore, Oakland, all the California ones, Oakland, Dodgers, Chargers, Padres, Giants. Went to all those when I lived out there. Been to the Yankee Stadium, been to the Mets. Plus, hell, went to baseball camp with the Yankees. 2 years I went to Lee Mazzilli baseball camp at CW Post College and trained with the major leaguers. And then the third year of that, I went 3 years total for, because we were trying to get me ready to be a major league player. And so 2 years I went to baseball camp at CW Post College up there on Long Island.
Uh-huh.
And 2 years it was Lee Mazzilli camp and like all the Mets would come out.
Sure.
And then the third year it got bought by the Yankees and it became Rick Cerrone baseball camp. And then all the Yankee players came out and were part of it. And that was like the coolest. Still one of the coolest stories I have ever of anything I ever did was I had the chance to catch for Doc Gooden.
Nice.
And I was catching Gooden and I caught him for 2 innings. And in the second inning of the game, he put a ball through the webbing of my catcher's mitt. I mean, because that guy could throw. I mean,
sure
that guy could throw 98 miles an hour. And, I was 15 years old or whatever. And he was throwing hard. And, I guess you never think about it, but, the gloves that they make for a kid are not the same as what they make for a major league player.
Absolutely not.
And he did. He threw the ball, and I knew I caught it, but I got thumped in the fucking chest. And I was like, what the fuck? And I picked it up and threw it back, and then the coach of our squad was like, come off the field, Aiken. And I was like, yeah, all right. And it came off, and he's like, look at your glove. And it was tore up. So they put another kid in to catch, because I was left-handed. So I had a left-handed catcher's glove. And what the cool part of it was, he took the glove, Gooden took the glove with him that day. And when he came back the next day, he gave me the glove back, and it was completely restitched by the major league trainer or whatever.
The clubhouse equipment manager guy.
Yeah, whoever does that. And so I have, and I still have it at my mom's house. Actually, I never used it again because it was professionally stitched, and I didn't want to ruin it.
Right, of course.
So somewhere in my mom's closet somewhere is this catcher's mitt that was stitched by the Mets.
Nice.
And it's and sitting in it is a ball that is signed by all those guys: Darryl Strawberry, Gooden, I think Hernandez was on that team. Bunch of those players. Mookie Wilson. I was big into baseball, man. I still am. I get excited talking about baseball, man. I loved it.
Well, good. Well, it is that time of year, and there was 5-6 months worth to watch.
Yeah, I can't wait. I am so happy that I have that magic.
Absolutely.
so that I can watch the games, and I'm good to watch at least 100 to 120 Indians games alone during the year. It's part of my night, pretty much. Is I usually will work until about 7:00 or so, and then I'll just kind of have some dinner and watch the Indians play. So I'm pumped, man. I'm definitely pumped for baseball season. I'm glad it's here.
Yeah, and hopefully we won't be seeing anybody doing any kneeling.
Well, I would hope not, but you never know with these fucking douchebags. You never know.
All right. Well, it is the top of the hour, and I told Eric that we would get a hold of him.
All right.
And I guess tonight Alice Cooper is acting in a Christmas movie.
Okay.
I guess he's acting in the Easter Story.
Oh.
And I think I don't know if he's Pontius Pilate or somebody in the movie.
Oh, I think I saw it. He's King Herod.
Yeah, he could be. Yeah, there you go. King Herod.
Yeah, he's King Herod. I think I saw something about that, yeah.
Yeah, so it's on tonight. So for those interested in that, I guess you could watch that or listen to our nonsense.
Yeah, look, big chat room tonight. Wow. Big chat room early.
Yeah, people are catching on. They realize all the silliness goes on during the show.
Or they listen to the podcast and they're sick of hearing us saying, oh, look at that shit.
Yeah, what are they looking at? What are they seeing? And what am I missing?
Well, chat room is definitely part of it these days, man.
Absolutely. Well, if you are listening to the Classic Metal Show live, we do have a live chat room, chatandkill.com. Just spell that out. Chatandkill.com. You can sign in with any of your social media or sign up for a Rumble Talk account.
Right.
Or sign in with Google or Twitter or Facebook or whatever it is that you use and be a part of the chat room so you don't miss out on what we're looking at.
Yeah, pal.
All right. Well, we're going to play a couple of tunes. We'll get Eric Braverman on the show with us. He wants to take some phone calls tonight, so we'll open up the studio line when Eric comes on. And you can talk to Eric or ask questions or whatever it is that you want to do, and we'll get Eric's take on the Judas Priest controversy that we kind of stirred up this week. And he says he's got some stuff to add of his own.
All right. Well, let's do it.
All right. We'll be in tomorrow. It is Easter as well as April Fool's Day.
Yes.
I thought I would play something from a band called Seasons of the Wolf.
Okay.
And I'm going to play a tune here for April Fool's Day. This one is called Fool's Gold. Here it is. It's Seasons of the Wolf exclusively here
on your Classic Metal Show.